Hi everybody, this is Mike Alexander again, manager of the Research and Analytics Division here at the Atlanta Regional Commission. I have again Mike Carnathan with me, who develops the Regional Snapshot. Today we are looking at ARC's annual population estimates for 2014 to assess how we are recovering from the slowdown we experienced during the Great Recession.
You know, ARC has been developing annual population estimates for more than 60 years. In fact, it is legislatively mandated that we develop annual population estimates every August for the 10 counties and the city of Atlanta that comprise the Atlanta Regional Commission. And I have to say, the population growth over the last few years coming out of the Great Recession has been sluggish. So, Mike Alexander, are there any signs that we are returning to more robust population growth?
Well, Mike Carnathan, thank you so much for asking me that question. But unfortunately, the answer is yes and no.
Well, that's just a terrific answer. You think you could elaborate a bit on that for us?
Sure. Since last year, from April 1, 2013 to April 1, 2014, the 10-county Atlanta region added 52,700 new residents, which is the highest single-year growth since the recession. The region now has 4.3 million people, which is larger than the population of 24 states. And as you can see on this chart, Fulton still has the largest population in the region, followed by Gwinnett, Cobb, and DeKalb. So all in all, we are still one of the largest metro areas in the country. As this chart shows, population growth in most jurisdictions over the past year exceeds the average annual growth experienced during the previous 3 years. Fulton County added the most new residents last year, up 12,700 new residents, followed by Gwinnett, which added 11,900 new residents, then Cobb, which was up 9,600 new residents. So yes, population growth is becoming more robust, as you put it.
But
population growth is still lower than what it was over the last 2 decades or so. Since 2010, the region has added 41,000 new residents each year. But between 1990 and 2010, the region added more than 77,000 new residents each year. In fact, last year's growth is well below the average annual change experienced between 1990 and 2010 in every county in the region. So yes, population growth is becoming more robust, but no, we're not back to the levels of growth we experienced pre-Great Recession.
that's interesting. And it's also interesting looking at population growth over the last few decades. We always refer to the booming 1990s and the 2000s, but different counties peaked during different decades. For example, the more urban counties of DeKalb, Fulton, and Gwinnett had their peaks during the 1990s, while the more suburban counties of Cherokee, Douglas, and Henry had their growth peaks during the 2000s.
Well, let's take this a step further and look at population growth all the way back to 19 seconds. You could see all that population growth.
That is fascinating. That was 80 years of growth or so in 40 seconds. What does drive population growth?
Well, that's another great question, Mike Carnathan. Residential building permit activity is one of the key factors we consider when producing our annual population estimates. And as you can see, building permits are still well below historical averages, although they are trending up. So when you look at these lagging building permit numbers, you can easily see why population growth has been so sluggish over the past few years.
But not all building permits are created equal. Multifamily units have much smaller household sizes than do single-family permits. So as you see in this chart, the vast majority of new units permitted in Fulton and the city of Atlanta were multifamily units. Because of these smaller household sizes, these new units do not translate into as many new residents as do single-family permits.
Well, that's absolutely true, Mike, and vacancies also play a role, obviously. Multifamily units tend to have higher vacancy rates, and they stay vacant longer, and sometimes they don't even get built at all, even after securing a permit. So in sum, estimating the population can be tricky. But over the years, our methods have become and proven to be among the most accurate sources of population estimates out there. It has been a while since we produced a Mike and Mike show, but we still produce monthly regional snapshots. So please check those out at the ARC's homepage at www.atlantaregional.com and click the News Center banner. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you again.
Thank you.